Have you ever felt like life just keeps throwing punches, one after another? Like everything that could go wrong does go wrong? If so, the ancient story of Job might hit closer to home than you think. Let's dive into one of the most profound and challenging stories ever told. In the land of Uz, there lived a man named Job. The scripture describes him as blameless and upright, a man who feared God and shunned evil. He was incredibly blessed, a huge family, thousands of livestock, a vast household. By all measures, he was the greatest man among all the people of the East. He had it all. But then, a conversation happens in the heavenly realms. The accuser, Satan, comes before God and suggests that Job is only faithful because God has blessed him so much. He challenges God, saying, "Stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." In a test of faith, God allows the accuser to test Job, but with one condition: he cannot harm Job himself. And just like that, Job's world crumbles. In a single, horrific day, disaster strikes. One messenger arrives, then another, and another. His oxen and donkeys are stolen. His sheep are struck by lightning. His camels are carried off by raiders, and all his servants are killed. The final blow is the most devastating. A mighty wind collapses a house where his 10 children were feasting, and they are all gone. Job's reaction is astonishing. He tears his robe and shaves his head in grief, but then he falls to the ground in worship. He says, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." He didn't sin by charging God with wrongdoing. But the test isn't over. The accuser returns to God, arguing that Job only held firm because his own body was untouched. "Strike his flesh and bones," he says, "and he will surely curse you." So God allows it, again with the condition: Job's life must be spared. Soon, Job is afflicted with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. The suffering is immense, so much so that his own wife tells him to just curse God and die. But Job rebukes her, asking, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Then, his 3 friends come to comfort him. For 7 days and nights, they sit with him in silence, because they see how great his suffering is. But when they finally speak, they try to reason with him, insisting he must have sinned to deserve such punishment. This begins a long, poetic debate where Job maintains his innocence, questioning God's justice while his friends push him to confess a sin he didn't commit. Job is in agony, both physically and emotionally. He wrestles with the biggest questions of life. Why do good people suffer? Is God just? He longs for a chance to plead his case directly before God. And then, God answers, not with an explanation for Job's suffering, but with a series of powerful questions of his own. Out of a whirlwind, God challenges Job. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Do you give the horse its strength?" Through this awe-inspiring display of his power and wisdom in creation, God reveals that his ways are far beyond human understanding. Job is humbled. He realizes he spoke of things he did not understand, things too wonderful for him. He repents, not for a sin that caused his suffering, but for his limited perspective and his demand for answers that were beyond him. In the end, God restores Job's fortunes. He gives him twice as much as he had before: new livestock, a new family with 7 sons and 3 beautiful daughters, and a long, full life. God also rebukes Job's friends for not speaking the truth about him as Job had. The story of Job doesn't give us a simple answer to the problem of suffering. Instead, it offers a powerful lesson in faith, perseverance, and the importance of trusting in God's sovereignty, even when we can't see the full picture. It reminds us that our relationship with God is not transactional and that true faith endures through the darkest of storms. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and